Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to Stretford Paddock. I am Adam McCullough. We are live. We have got loads to get stuck into today. We have, of course, updates on Raphael Varane. We have updates on Jadon Sancho and the completion of that deal as well. We have loads more stuff to get stuck into, including Jesse Lingard and his future. Is he going to be at West Ham next season? We have an update on that thanks to our mates over at Stretty News. We've also got some updates on the youngsters that could be heading out on loan too. Alex Tellez could be going to one of our former managers, and of course we'll be looking at the news regarding Marcus Rashford and just being an absolute hero and some of the scenes down in Withington today. We obviously saw a video which was posted on Stretford Paddock's Twitter. I'm not sure which one of the lads have gone down there, but someone's gone down there and there's a crowd down there building with support for Marcus Rashford. Obviously disappointing to miss that penalty. And from normally we wouldn't have to see this kind of support for him because you miss a penalty, everyone moves on normally. Yes, they're disappointed, but some of the abuse that he's got is just an absolute disgrace. So it's great to see some of the support out there for Marcus Rashford down at his mural in his end. So good stuff to see there. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, you're liking, you're commenting, you're sharing, you're keeping it locked to Stretford Paddock as well. We're very close to 600,000 subscribers. So get hitting that subscribe button right now as well and keeping it locked to Stretford Paddock. The first story we're looking at today, look, we're coming to the end of this Jadon Sancho stuff now. We're not getting as bombarded by people with comments such as, oh, why are you talking about Jadon Sancho again? Oh, Jadon Sancho, oh, here we go again, this, that and the other. We're not really seeing those kind of comments at the minute because of the fact that it's a done deal in terms of us dealing with the club. Now today, he was at Carrington. He was at the training complex, Manchester United's training complex, to discuss his contract, get that signed, do his medical, do all those kind of things, and get the deal sorted. Now there's talk that Jadon Sancho is going to be part of Manchester United's launch of the new kit, and therefore they obviously are using the time to film some of those bits, take pictures for part of the kit launch as well. And Jadon Sancho has had his medical today, and it's believed he's completed his medical, and we're expected to have this move formally confirmed by Manchester United within the next 24 hours. Now this, they've been saying 48 hours, about 12 hours ago. So we should have this done in the next couple of days, if not tomorrow, the next day at the very, very least. And he'll complete his £73 million move to Manchester United. £73 million. Again, I think we all have overlooked it a little bit. I think that's a massive bargain for someone of the quality of Jadon Sancho. And Jadon Sancho will complete his £73 million move to Man United by the end of this week. He's completed his medical today. He's got a 5-year deal with an option for an extra 6th year. It's believed his contract is around £250,000 per week. Who knows what number he's going to wear in terms of in shirt number. Obviously, Edinson Cavani's wearing the number 7. Now, last summer when we were discussing Jadon Sancho, we all thought that Jadon Sancho would come in and bring and wear that number 7 and become the man that would break the curse. Obviously, Edinson Cavani has broken the curse and he's been performing really well in that number 7 shirt. But could we see that 7 shirt go to Jadon Sancho? It wouldn't surprise me if United had that in their minds for the relaunch and, you know, wearing that number 7 shirt, Jadon Sancho. Football players are weird people, but some players would probably demand a shirt number sometimes. Maybe Jadon Sancho has been told, or maybe he'll just have to wait for a year to get it. Either way, who cares what number he's going to be wearing? He could be wearing 77. He could be wearing 7. All I'm happy with is that he's going to be a Man United player. So we'll get the official announcement on this very, very soon. Boy Darshawn in the comments says Sancho 7, Cavani 77. Cavani 21 and James sold to Leeds. Obviously, Daniel James has been linked with a move away from Manchester United. Khalid in the comments as well. Thank you for joining us. BMW Racing in the house. We got, is Varane playing for United for extras at Madrid, says David. And that is obviously a possibility as well. And we'll talk about Raphael Varane right now, actually. So Raphael Varane, he's been linked with Manchester United for a long time. We know that already. And it's believed Manchester United are in direct contract with Real Madrid over Varane. And Real Madrid have given permission for United to discuss a move with Raphael Varane. Now, we do need to get a deal agreed with the club. Now, it's believed United are offering 45 million euros. They want 50 million euros or some form of that, depending on the numbers varying a little bit. But it's believed United and Real Madrid are very close to agreeing a deal. Now, we hear negotiations on personal terms are not an issue because apparently Real Madrid want to give him a deduction in his wages. He's not happy with that. He wants to be on par with or have more wages than, I think it was David Alaba, who I think's just signed for them. But it doesn't look like Real Madrid are going to offer him that. Now, United are wary of the fact that, just like with Sergio Ramos, we could get linked to a big player. He uses United to kind of negotiate a better deal with Real Madrid. But it does feel a little bit different in these circumstances because Real Madrid don't have the money that they've had in previous years. The Super League was a big thing for them. Didn't happen. The COVID, situation would have affected them a lot. We're seeing what's happening with Barcelona. Now Real Madrid is in a bad position, but their finances have taken a hit. So maybe they can't offer Varane this deal that he wants. And that will obviously boost United's case. Now, do they keep him for an extra year? Does Carlo Ancelotti want to keep him? Or will they sell him? Now, they're going to want a fee for him. 50 million euros has been spoken about. 60 million euros. Some report 70 million. If United get him for 50 to 70 million euros, you're looking 40 to 60 million quid. I think that's a bargain for someone of Raphael Varane's quality. And we've looked at Harry Maguire, who I think has, over the last 6 to 12 months, he had a dreadful time, actually, around this time last year, starting the season, getting sent off for England against Croatia. But since the turn of the year, he's been absolute quality. He's shown how good he is. He's shown why Manchester United signed him. And to get someone like Raphael Varane alongside him would be a huge boost to Manchester United going forward. Having got Jadon Sancho done, to get him there, just like Just No says, like with the love heart emojis and that about Maguire and Varane, it could be a massive, massive partnership. Varane could be the perfect foil for him as well. Has a little bit more pace than Harry Maguire, a little bit more, speedy. Both are good with the ball at their feet. Both can take it out from defence. I think that could be a perfect choice. Now, United can get the negotiations for the personal terms over the line. Can we get a deal agreed with Real Madrid? Or will they get a contract that is deemed suitable to Raphael Varane over to him? I'm hoping United get that deal agreed. But it's sounding quite good when we look at some of the reports that we're hearing from the likes of Fabrizio Romano and all those guys. They are giving us a little bit of hope in this one. And I'll read the last tweet that Fabrizio posted in relation to Raphael Varane. He said, Man United are now back in direct contract with Real Madrid for Raphael Varane after opening talks weeks ago. Negotiations on personal terms are not an issue. United confirmed their intention to sign Varane. Official bid in once they'll know Real's final position. Sky Sports also reported on Raphael Varane earlier as well. I think that's why I was mixing up the reports. Sky Sports reported that Man United had been given permission to discuss personal terms ahead of potential move from Real Madrid. Now, if Real Madrid are given permission to Manchester United to discuss personal terms, then that suggests to me that a deal is close. That's what that suggests to me. Obviously, Fabrizio hasn't gone as far as to say that, but that's what that suggests to me, that Manchester United could be quite close to getting this deal done. But I don't want to get too carried away just yet, because we all know what can happen in the transfer market. We all know what can happen. These players that Man United want, we want them for a reason, because they're top quality players. And Real Madrid will want to keep him. Carlo Ancelotti isn't going to want to lose a player like that. It's as simple as that. He's not going to want to lose a player like that. Coming in, a big player, key part of, some Champions League winning sides. So, yeah, man. Still wary, but hopefully United can get the deal done. And if we end up with Sancho and Varane to start the window with like 3-4 weeks to the season starts, that would be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Just Noel says, is Jones still on to be our best ever player? Still time, innit? Disciple of Alice is F the Glazers. Short and sweet. Nice. Alex McDonald thinks Varane's too old. I've got to disagree with that. We've got a particularly young side throughout the team. And you need a little bit of experience sometimes. We missed Harry Maguire against Villarreal in the final. I know it was 0-0 and we lost on penalties. 1-1 and we lost on penalties. But we did miss his presence. And if you have someone like Raphael Varane, I think he helps you get over the line in some of those games. Anyway, let's move on and talk about Jesse Lingard, a favourite of us here on the channel. Obviously been on this channel more than me, I think. Obviously spent a good loan move to West Ham, where he nearly got himself into the England side. Just saying, if Gareth Southgate brought him, maybe they'll win the thing. But Jesse Lingard could be edging closer to a move to West Ham. Obviously, with Manchester United's players back in training, Jesse Lingard back in the mix, we understand that he's going to have talks with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer about his future at the club. Now, when you look at the players that we could be signing, when you look, and Jadon Sancho having been signed, and obviously Daniel James has been linked with a move. Facundo Pellistri is going to go back out on loan. He's believed to want to go back to Alaves. We could be letting a few players go, but Matt is staying. Bruno is coming. Donny might be staying. Who knows what happens with Donny? If Donny leaves, maybe Jesse has a bit more of a chance. But Jesse will consider himself to be someone that should be starting games for whatever club he's at. And therefore, I think he'll leave. And Stretty News, I think they had a chat with Claret and Hugh, who I believe is a West Ham fan, or a West Ham fan channel. Not aware of them, but we're crediting them anyway. Says a return to the West Ham is edging closer, and opening talks have been held between Lingard and Solskjaer over a potential exit. There had been previous reports that Lingard could end up signing a new contract at United, but a move this summer or a departure next year on a free transfer seems far more plausible. Now, Man United could probably get 20 to 30 million pounds for Jesse Lingard. I could see it becoming a situation where United think, are we going to let a club lowball us on him and take him off our hands, or do we keep him for an extra year and let him go on a free? Obviously, we didn't pay for him in terms of a transfer. So doing that wouldn't be that bad, especially when you consider you have someone like Jesse Lingard in the squad. But I think that's one that could run late into the window, because I think we'll weigh up our squad elsewhere. Jesse Lingard's not going to kick up a fuss. He'll have a good pre-season. He'll work hard with the squad, probably be involved. And then United will probably make the decision closer to the end of the transfer window on Jesse. I think. I'm obviously guessing. I don't know anything inside. But that's how I feel about that one. It might depend on, does Donny van der Beek leave? He could potentially want to get a move. I don't think he will. All the signs seem to suggest he'll stay. But what happens there? You don't know what happens with Paul Pogba. There could be a few moving parts that mean that Jesse Lingard stays at United and is a key part of the squad. So we have to wait and see, I think, with that one, for sure. Getting Rice and letting Jesse go would be good business, says Ross. We have heard that West Ham aren't interested in doing a deal which would see Declan Rice join Manchester United. Thank you to Stefan for joining and becoming a new member of Stretford Paddock. Make sure you're hitting that join button. If you can join, become a member of the channel. You get a discount code for the website that you can use as many times as you want for the merch website, and you get bonus videos, etc., competitions that we'll be running, and so on. So make sure you go and check that out if you want, become a member, but make sure you're at the very least subscribe to the channel, because you got to hit that subscribe button, man. So get hitting that subscribe button, help us hit 600,000. Do that right now. We are hearing Solskjaer's talking about which young lads will go out on loan. We obviously got Teddy Mengi, James Garner, Brandon Williams, who looks like he could be going to Southampton, Dylan Levitt, who could secure himself another loan move. We've got a few young players, young talents coming through the squad. You know, will Hannibal Mejbri be part of the first team squad, the 23s? Will he go out on loan? He's another one. Been getting game time with Tunisia. You know, he's been becoming a star out there. It'd be interesting to see what happens with him. There's a load of young talent at Manchester United, and clubs, big clubs, further down the pecking order, will be looking at some of these players. We saw Tellez Mengi go out on loan to Derby, do really well. You know, we could potentially see a few of the others go out. Brandon Williams to Southampton seems like a good one. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been saying the young kids will definitely be part of the Derby game in pre-season. And then we've got another couple of games coming up and they can be a part of it. What United have got to deal with is the fact that some of our players obviously will be looking to return later to pre-season. The likes of those that were involved in the Euros into the latter stages won't be back from their holidays for a good couple of weeks. So United have to get a full squad for these pre-season friendlies in order to help them get their other first team players fit. And some of these young lads will be part of that squad. They'll get a taste of some football. Then early August, some will go on loan. We've already lined up a few, and some of them are still in discussions between us and the players about where is the best place to go. I imagine Tellez Mengi will go back to Derby. I imagine Brandon Williams will go to Southampton. James Garner, be interesting to see where he goes. I hope he gets a good move. He had a good one last time out. So a few of those there could be making moves, but not surprised to see that we'll keep him in the squad. We will move on to the next story shortly, which is on Alex Tellez. We got a super chat which says, if Pogba stays, what about Donny's future? Says Yashas. Good one. Obviously, again, depends what happens in it. If Pogba stays, what happens with Jesse? What happens with Donny? Dan Finex says Hannibal is going to Galatasaray. That could be a good move for him, innit? He seems to enjoy pressure, doesn't he, Hannibal? Caribbean Gaming, all the way from St. Lucia, commenting, thank you for joining us. Laird and Williams is back up for AWB. If not, Denzel Dumfries is the man, says Johnny. Garner has Everton written all over him. Could be a good one to play for Raphael Benitez, isn't it? However long he's in that Everton job. But yeah, we could see that. Right, moving on to Alex Tellez, a Manchester United player. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if we swapped Tellez for Trippier, and by that I don't mean give him to Atletico Madrid, but sold Tellez to fund a move for Kieran Trippier. Tellez offered to Jose Mourinho's Roma, says Calcio Mercato, so reliability isn't great. But they say AS Roma have been offered the player through an intermediary. According to Calcio Mercato, the report argued that Leonardo Spinazzola's long-term injury could tempt Roma, and that Mourinho wouldn't mind Alex Tellez making a return to Italy. It is claimed that Roma would only consider a loan rather than an outright purchase. United probably aren't going to be interested in loaning a player out that we just recently signed, although you know you get him off your wage books potentially, you get a fee in for that loan. But I can't imagine United will want to do that. I can understand why Roma would want a short-term deal to replace Spinazzola. Spinazzola's fantastic. Hopefully returns from his injury because it was a shocker, and he's going to be out for a long time. But you know, to replace him, you're not going to get someone that's going to come in and just play every single game. So you know, you're going to look for a short-term option. Alex Tellez could be a good choice for them, but I don't see United giving them to him, giving Jose Tellez on loan. I just can't see that happening for some reason. I just can't. We also hear about Marcus Rashford, the hero, the absolute don. And Rashford Mural, covered with love. That sounds so wrong. I hope Joe's not been down there doing weird stuff. Covered with love. After being defaced. After the mural was defaced with hate, fans from all over have covered the mural with messages of love and flags to show their support. Marcus has posted images of the support with the caption, overwhelmed, thankful, lost for words. He also posted a picture of our mate Alex Neild. Some of the messages say thank you for our dinner from young kids. That's what I mean, man. People out here racially abusing him like he hasn't been feeding their kids for the best part of a year. It's a joke, man. Hero, so proud of you, Marcus. Love you as if you were my son, Lind. An update on the racist abuse from the night of the penalty miss. Police investigating a racist tweet aimed at Marcus Rashford, arrested and released a 50-year-old man. Apparently that 50-year-old man as well was a football coach. That's unconfirmed. I've seen that on Twitter, and obviously Twitter's not the most reliable place. But a 50-year-old football coach that works in the community. Imagine that. being racist on Twitter. What a dickhead. What a dickhead. But yeah, shout out Marcus Rashford, man. Always got our support. We absolutely love him here. Everyone loves Marcus Rashford. I was gutted for him when he missed that penalty because I knew what was going to happen. I knew what was going to come. Growing up, I've seen it, you know. When I was a kid, England, like, club, like, I used to support England as much as United. Like, I was deep into it like that. And when you grow up seeing Beckham get abused and Phil Neville getting abused and the Rooney and Ronaldo shit and then Rooney getting abuse and Wembley singing stand up if you hate United and the FA with Rio and all that shit, you just think, oh, forget this. John Terry. Obviously, I still wanted them to do well. I supported them during this Euros and I like this team and I feel a bigger connection to this team. But when you see this reaction to players when they do something wrong, it reminds you of why you kind of grew tired of it all. But yeah, man, it's a shame. It's a shame. I thought England could have been more attacking, more progressive with their football. Obviously, they did well to get to the final, and you can't really complain about that. But when you got, like, I did a predicted front four for England. Obviously, I'm not saying I'm a football genius, but my front four was Rashford, Sancho, Grealish, Kane. 3 of that 4 are on the bench. Like, most people put Sancho and Grealish in their 11. And if you fail to get your best players playing well, you're always going to be in the line for criticism. It reminds me of, remember when, and I hate to always bring him up, but remember when Jose picked McTominay over Pogba and McTominay did well? It's like, yes, McTominay did well. And yes, you can credit them for that. And yes, you can praise them for that. But there's better options on the bench. And that's how I felt when I seen Foden playing and Saka, God bless him. I feel gutted for him as well. But like when you see those players playing, you think, yes, they've done well. But look what they're playing in place of. Like, it's not right. And Rashford, he was injured. I don't expect him to be starting for England. But Grealish, Sancho, they should have been starting every single game. Let's be real. Or more often than not. So, yeah, man. Someone just said check some of the Twitter news. Let's see if there's anything else that we're missing right now over there. Make sure you're hitting that like button on the video. Let's have a look. MUFC. All right, let's have a look. Okay, so we've got a story from the Telegraph, which is on Marcus Rashford, and it says Marcus Rashford is facing shoulder surgery and could be out of action until October. Rashford would like to have the surgery immediately, but that is unlikely to happen until the end of the month. So Marcus Rashford facing shoulder surgery and could be out of action until October. Look, you never want to see players out, especially someone we love as much as Marcus Rashford, but he needs a rest. He needs to get this surgery, and I'd rather see it done now than he starts the season, you know, does a pre-season, starts the season, goes down injured, has to have the operation later, then he's not back until December. Like, send him on holiday now, let him get rested up, get your operation, and then get working and come back. Let's see a fresh Marcus Rashford back September, October, you know, going into the November, December period. Like Rahul says in the comments, it's unfortunate, but thankfully we have the depth to deal with it, and it will benefit Rashford long term. It's true. Amad Diallo there, Anthony Martial. If Cavani keeps that 9 spot, makes it his own, he can drop on the left. Sancho can go on the left and the right. Amad Diallo, like I said, you know, so Mason Greenwood. We've got the players to be able to fill that spot. Martial to step up. Someone just commented on Twitter, Martial FC to feast. Yeah, it looks like he's not getting sold now. I think Rashford tactical with the surgery for how do I get my boy Martial to definitely stay? I know, I'll take one for the team and get surgery. So nah, man. Hopefully Rashford can get that sorted and get back ASAP. But I think it is for the best, rather than him starting the season and then potentially going down with a big injury, or making it worse and aggravating it and having to get that up anyway. It was always going to be something that he had to get done. So there you go. Anyway, guys, on that note, we are going to start to wrap up now. Make sure you're hitting that like button, comment, share, subscribe. We got a big week coming up as well here. We got loads going on. We've got the first pre-season game at the end of the week, and I thought I was finished when the Euros finished. We've got the first pre-season game at the end of the week against Derby, so make sure you're joining us for that. I'm sure we'll have a preview and things like that. Not that they mean much in pre-season, but you know what we do here. We'll start to get into the swing of things again with this new season coming up. But make sure you're keeping it locked for everything here on on Stretford Paddock. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. It'll be from the studio tomorrow, and it won't be me, but it will be another great show. See you then. Laters.